Let's do an official demo review and dedicated video on my brand new signature guitar. This is the Cerberus XRC 7 Erebus, one single pickup, one volume knob, an EMG, a 30-inch scale, and just a beautiful silver burst finish. Let's get into it, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining me for today's video. Since you clicked on this video, I know you're watching, obviously. So in case you guys are unfamiliar with who I am and what I do, it's nice to meet you. My name is Xander Raymond Charles, the mighty XRC. I predominantly do three things in the music business. One, content creation. Obviously, you're watching this video. Two, I'm a solo artist. I write my own original music and I put it out all over the place, everywhere. So if you guys want to hear what I create, it's out there. Third, I'm a hired gun. So playing a 7-string guitar really makes a lot of sense for me, and I'll get to that later on in this video, but having an option of having a 7-string versus just a traditional 6-string makes sense to me in a number of ways. You know, getting ready to make this video, I was sitting here thinking, man, like, I'm just so thankful and appreciative to be in this position. I brought some friends with me. I've got 3 of my 6-string and 7-string variants with Cerberus, but this is the latest one. But like, looking at this right here, I'm just so thankful, man. I'm so appreciative. I've worked really, really hard to get here. But at the same time, if it wasn't for you guys tuning in, watching, supporting, giving me constructive feedback, constructive criticism, positive affirmations, negative affirmations, if that's even a thing, negative hate comments, I guess we'll say, I appreciate all that, man. So making a video like this is very special to me because this is like my 4th or 5th video on a signature guitar of mine, and it means a lot, man. So yeah, I want that to be the theme of this video, and I want to say that first and foremost in this video. Just thank you guys so much, okay? Like I said, man, this is my signature guitar. This is a Cerberus Erebus, so that's the baseline model. But then it's the XRC, my initials, and the 7-string. So if you look at the back of the control cavity right there, it's got my logo and my initials right there. And it is my take on a baritone and the Erebus from Cerberus guitars. So the specs, we have a mahogany body, we have a roasted maple neck, bolt-on construction, 30-inch scale, so almost in bass territory, 7 strings, an EMG 57, single volume knob, hip shot hardware, we got a bridge and locking tuners. We have a volute here as well. Ebony board, obviously, if I didn't say that. Stainless steel frets, glow-in-the-dark side dot lumen lays, and this thing is absolutely perfect for me. When creating these signature baritones, I wanted to make the most bang for the buck and just the most spec'd out guitar that you can get for not a lot of money. I'm putting that in quotes because, hell, 20 bucks is a lot of money to me sometimes, right? But I think you guys understand what I'm saying. I didn't want this to be in the price range of like $3 grand, $3,500, $4 grand. I just did not feel comfortable putting my name on something like that because, one, I myself am not really in the market to buy guitars like that. So why would I go out of my way to, you know, indirectly sell one to you? Like, that just doesn't make sense, right? But also, too, I wanted to make baritones that filled in a gap in the market. And we're going to talk about something here very soon about the market itself. But for the time being right now, just staying on this topic, I wanted to fill a gap. In 2023, when I was first approached by Cerberus Guitars to make these baritones, there was no real high-end production model baritone guitar. They just didn't really exist. It's either like really cheap, made in China, 30-inch baritones from like Harley Benton, or they had the Squire baritone, which was made in Indonesia, but still cheap, or there was just like really crazy one-off customs from like Jackson or somebody like that. I toured with the Squire for a while. I had a Harley Benton for a while, but I wanted to make a guitar that fit the price range and the budget of a lot of people out there that is like the mid-tier price point. And I wanted to create it and have a 30-inch baritone fit that gap. There was no guitars out there really like this. And literally every single spec in this guitar has all the appointments and all of the everything that I want in a guitar. I did not compromise, and Cerberus guitars did not compromise with anything. Stainless steel frets, paramount here in 2025. EMG pickup, for example, in this model. That's my favorite brand of pickups. I'm an EMG artist. I love EMG so much. Hip shot bridge, hip shot hardware. Best of the business in my opinion. Roasted maple neck, stability when traveling and when playing, and it doesn't waver. If you have a big giant 30-inch scale guitar, you have a giant neck, right? So that thing could potentially move. I wanted to have a roasted maple neck to prevent any sort of moving possibilities when traveling from climate to climate. Bolt-on construction. Bolt-ons typically are cheaper to make, and I personally love the sound of bolt-ons. I've tried everything. I've tried neck throughs, set necks, bolt-ons, etc. I think bolt-ons are my favorite, definitively, far and away. Whether it's from Jackson, Fender, Cerberus guitars, Ernie Ball Music Man, bolt-ons are always my favorite type of guitar. I don't know if it's a sound thing or what, but maybe, I don't know. I just think it looks cool. I just think it makes sense for what a guitar should be. Just bolt it onto the body, you know what I mean? Mahogany body. Now here comes the tone wood debate. I don't know if tone wood's real, but I will say this. All the guitars that I always gravitate towards typically have mahogany bodies. So I don't know if that's blind coincidence or what, but it is what it is. And now let's talk about the 7-string variant. So the utmost transparency here. I'm predominantly a 6-string player, more often than not. However, there is a giant market for 7-string players. So Cerberus Guitars reached out to me back in May of 24 and said, hey, would you want a 7-string variant of your signature guitar? I immediately said yes. 1, because what's wrong with having a different variation of your signature guitar? And 2, I'm well aware that there's a lot of players out there that want its extended ranges and baritones. So it just made the most sense from a business standpoint. If players want to play my guitar, but they don't want a 6-string, they want a 7-string for whatever reason, let's give it to them, you know what I mean? But now, here in present day, being a hired gun 6 to 8 months out of the year where I'm always touring and traveling, right now a 7-string makes the most sense for me. Let me explain. I've said it in several videos, but I'm going to Japan and Australia to play with the artist Elijah here in about 60 days, right? So I'm traveling on the other side of the planet. I'm currently in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, United States of America, going on the other side of the world, right? So I need to bring equipment with me. Well, I figured out that if I want to play an entire Elijah set, I can get away with it on a 7-string. And I think that's what I'm going to bring predominantly when traveling overseas. It'll be this one, a backup, and then a Jim Root Strat, because that's just iconic. That guitar is just legendary at this point. This guitar right here, I mean, this guitar is so beyond recognition. It's almost like a signature guitar of mine. I've destroyed this thing in the best way possible, and I've played hundreds of shows, dozens of tours with it at this point. This guitar is my baby. So yeah, obviously I'm going to bring this one. But getting back to my signature guitar, what I can do here is I can play both tunings that Elijah has. He has 2 predominantly, with a few pitch shiftings here and there. But for all intents and purposes, all the guitars are set up in drop C and in drop G. I can have the first 6 strings be in drop C, so it would be C, G, C, F, A, D, low to high. But then also too, I can have the fun string, and I can tune it to G if I want, and therefore it would be G, C, F, A, D. And therefore I could play in drop G with a few simple calculations and alterations on how to finger the songs. But other than that, I could play an entire set on this guitar. So just a little random sidebar with this guitar. It has a battery block in the back. So, you know, having an EMG equipped guitar, you need a 9-volt in some form or fashion. I probably would have put it here, but it's cool that Cerberus guitars went out of their way to give the battery cavity for the 9-volt. That's huge, man. I love this thing, man. I've written 3 songs already ever since I got it just a few days ago. I'll release them very, very soon. I'm really keen on just continuing to not only be a hired gun and a content creator, but a solo artist as well, a riff writer. So if you guys are unaware of that, I release all my own original music all by myself. It's all on every single digital streaming service platform as well as all over this channel. So yeah, dude, if you guys are confused about that or want to check out what I write, it's all over everywhere. Just look up my name, Xander Raymond Charles. I'm everywhere, okay? But yeah, dude, ever since I got this guitar, I was inspired to write some stuff with it, and I cranked out 3 songs within like the first 2 or 3 days. So I really, really am inspired by this guitar. I love it so much. I think it's so cool, man. And yeah, dude, what an honor to have another variation of my signature guitar. Let's talk about the market of baritone guitars. You know how I said in the beginning of this video, the goal with this guitar was to fill the gap in the market? Well, if you guys are paying attention to the news, Kiesel Guitars is making 30-inch baritones now. Chapman Guitars, just like 2 days ago, announced that they're making 30-inch baritone guitars. I really think all of a sudden, baritone guitars are the hip new thing with bands like Loathe and Sleep Token and, you know, whoever else uses extended range guitars. I think baritones, 30-inch baritones specifically, are the future of guitar for the foreseeable future. You know how like a couple years ago it was all about 8 strings and extended ranges and fan frets? They're still out there, but like that was a fad and that was a sign of the times. I feel like that fad and that trend has died down because now I think people are just going for big giant baritones. So I'm really proud of Cerberus and myself that we kind of got in this a couple years early. At the time in 2023, baritones were getting popular, but now here in 2025, almost into 2026 already, which is crazy, baritone guitars, 30-inch baritone guitars are really taking off in terms of popularity. So that just about does it, everybody, for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. What do you guys think of this guitar? What do you guys think of my thoughts and opinions on designing this guitar? I obviously absolutely love it, man. I think this thing is so beautiful. It sounds great, plays great, could not be happier. A huge shout out to Cerberus Guitars. This thing is a monster of a guitar, and I'm so honored to have a 7-string variant of my signature guitar. With that being said, everybody, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow me everywhere and anywhere. Any way you choose to support me, I sincerely appreciate it, okay? With that being said, everybody, I'm out of here, and I'll see you guys in a video very, very soon. Later.